no intro needed. You already know why we here. I told y'all to get over here and jump with me over here. Hope you made it. Get your smokes, drinks, snacks, whatever you need to do. We about to lock back into this Ireland gang mob feud, okay? So let's get it. We back, man.
Of
Let's
May
go.
2016, Gareth Hutch,
Oh yeah, this is the joint that we
36,
saw at the
was
beginning.
getting into his car outside the Avondale House flat complex when two gunmen approached and opened fire,
They came
fatally
from
wounding him.
from up top up there.
Gareth was a nephew of Jerry
Hold
Hutch,
on, they about to come.
another member of
Yep,
the
here they come.
extended
Come
Hutch
around the
family
corner, and they just
targeted.
ran down and did
Unlike
that.
some of
That
his
was
cousins,
crazy.
Gareth was considered a minor figure in the underworld.
And ran
The
away.
hit was efficient
Crazy.
and merciless,
And
carried
broad
out in a
day.
residential parking lot in front of witnesses. The investigation into Gareth's murder was successful in identifying those responsible.
Oh, they
In
caught him.
November 2018, the Special Criminal Court convicted 3 individuals for the killing: Jonathan Keogh, his sister Regina Keogh, and an associate, Thomas Fox. All 3 were found guilty of murder and handed life sentences. Notably, they were an independent gang who undertook the contract, likely paid by or under direction of the Kinahan cartel. The feud raged into the summer. On the 1st of July 2016, David Douglas, 54, was shot dead outside his shop on Bridgefoot Street in Dublin 8. Douglas was a former boxer and longtime criminal associate of
He
the
was a
Hutch
criminal
gang.
associate. Wow.
He had actually survived a shooting attempt in November 2015. However, this time, the gunman finished the job.
Wow.
As Douglas stood outside his wife's shop, which he co-ran, he was shot multiple times.
And he ran
The killing
off
was particularly ruthless, occurring in a busy area in the middle of the day.
in the middle of the
The
day.
investigation into David Douglas's murder eventually led to a major breakthrough. Freddie "Fat" Thompson, a first cousin of Liam Byrne and key Kinahan lieutenant, was arrested and later convicted for orchestrating Douglas's murder.
Wow.
In 2018, Thompson was found guilty and given a life sentence for this crime. His conviction was a significant win for law enforcement. It also confirmed that the Kinahan cartel ordered Douglas's murder. Perhaps the most tragic incident of the feud occurred on the 17th of August 2016, when an innocent holidaymaker was mistaken for a Hutch and killed. Trevor O'Neill, 41, a Dublin City Council worker, was vacationing with his family in Costa de la Calma, near Magaluf, in Spain. While walking with his wife and children, a gunman approached and shot Trevor 5 times in front of his family.
Damn.
Trevor was not involved in crime at all. Authorities believed the Kinahan
Mistaken
shooter
identity.
misidentified him as a Hutch family member.
Yep.
The Spanish and Irish police cooperated to investigate. The name Glenn Clark emerged. Clark,
he
a
did it.
Kinahan-affiliated
He did another
hitman,
one.
was believed to be Trevor O'Neill's killer. Justice in this case took an ironic turn. The suspected shooter, Glenn Clark, was found dead himself just a few months later, in December 2016.
Damn.
Thought to be involved in multiple botched hits, including Martin O'Rourke's. On the 2nd of December 2016, Clark was discovered dead in a stolen car in Leixlip, County Kildare, shot through the head.
Wow.
There was no sign of another shooter. Intriguingly, the bullet was never found, leading investigators to suspect Clark accidentally shot himself while handling the gun. However, his family disputes this, implying foul play.
Nah.
A coroner would later return an open verdict.
I'm gonna tell y'all that. I already know. I already know what. It had to be the mob, bro. They can make stuff look like anything. They got money, bro. They don't care, bro. They don't care. It's the mob. And now, granted, I don't know why they would do that to him. Maybe because he was a part of a lot of botched, hits, a lot of missed hits. You hitting innocents, and they can't be having that. You got innocent blood on your hands, so and you're a hired hitman. You're not completing your job in the sense of the crime family. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But it's definitely not a suicide, bro.
In 2020 due to lack of evidence of suicide or murder. Some underworld sources hint that the Kinahans may have executed Clark for bungling operations, since both O'Rourke and O'Neill were mistaken identities, essentially eliminating their own hitman to cover tracks or out of anger. In any event, Glenn Clark's demise was counted as a casualty of the feud. As 2016 drew to an end, the Kinahan onslaught persisted. On the 22nd of December 2016, just before Christmas, Noel "Duck Egg" Kerwin, 62, was shot dead in front of his partner outside his home in Clondalkin, West Dublin. Kerwin was a lifelong friend of Gerry Hutch. He had no major criminal record beyond minor offences. He was essentially targeted for his association with the Hutch family. In fact, his fate may have been sealed when he was photographed chatting with Gerry at Eddie Hutch's funeral back in February. The Kinahan killers reportedly chose Noel Kerwin as a soft target. The Kerwin murder would be the last feud killing of 2016, capping an incredibly bloody year.
Wow.
Authorities' efforts by this point were in overdrive. Many plots were foiled, firearms were seized, and detectives were closing in on the network behind these shootings. In Noel Kerwin's case, while the triggermen were not immediately caught, investigators managed over time to unravel...
I'm sorry for pausing, but just look at the leader real quick. Everybody just take a second and look at the leader. All black coat, all black hat all the way down to the eyes so you can't see it. This shit looks like a movie, bro. This is real. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, this is like he's fitting the character. This is a real mob boss that we are watching right now, bruh. This looks like a movie. Like, this looks like one of them movies on some Al Capone mafia shit, Godfather shit. I'm telling y'all, this shit is crazy.
Parts of the conspiracy.
The Kinahan gang had put a tracking device on the 62-year-old grandfather's car, and a senior figure in the organised crime group monitored his movements on a laptop from an apartment at the Beacon South Quarter in Dublin. Declan Brady was in that apartment. His DNA was found on a toothbrush there, and he also drove the other gang leader around in the back of a car with tinted windows. Detective Superintendent Mark O'Neill said the Gardaí had recovered the tracking device and downloaded the information on it, along with phone evidence, CCTV footage and surveillance of Brady and other Kinahan gang members. Brady is the fourth person to be jailed for his role in the murder, along with Martin Aylmer, Jason Keating and Michael Crotty.
The vast majority of victims were connected to the Hutch family, either members, relatives or friends, as the Kinahan side unleashed a campaign of revenge. Only one of the 2016 victims was aligned with the Kinahans, and two innocent men were caught in the crossfire. By 2017, the feud entered a new phase. The initial frenzy of revenge hits had subsided slightly, partly due to intense Garda surveillance and partly because the Hutch side was essentially lying low or had been decimated. But violence still flared. It was a year of cat and mouse between the gangs and law enforcement, with undercover operations, preventing murders, and international hitmen entering the fray. One chilling indicator of the feud's reach behind bars came in March. An inmate named Tom Fox, who was awaiting trial for the 2016 murder of Gareth Hutch, was attacked and stabbed in Mountjoy Prison on 28 March 2017. Another prisoner joined in the assault, and Fox suffered multiple stab wounds.
Damn.
Thankfully, he survived. Fox's role in the Gareth Hutch case made him a target for revenge or silencing. Perhaps the most dramatic police operation of the year took place on the 4th of April 2017, when authorities raided a safe house in West Dublin and arrested 3 Kinahan associates, including a hired hitman, in the safe house, which was owned by a Kinahan-linked man named Eric Fowler.
They got that Hugo
Officers
Boss
found a
on,
cache
boy.
of weapons and a list of Hutch targets. Among those arrested was Imre Arakas, a 58-year-old Estonian national, infamous as a contract killer known as the Butcher. The Kinahan gang had brought Arakas to Ireland to carry out hits. However, it appears someone tipped off the police about the plot, possibly Eric Fowler himself. Fowler's alleged cooperation with authorities may have saved lives, but it marked him for death by his own cartel.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
we will revisit Fowler's fate later.
Get off now.
A long-time Hutch associate named James Margot Gatley had wisely fled Dublin and was hiding out in Belfast. Gatley was extremely high on the Kinahan hit list. They blamed him for having a role in the Regency Hotel attack, although he was never charged for it. On the 10th of May 2017, Gatley drove down to Dublin, perhaps thinking it was safe. As he parked at a Topaz petrol station in North Dublin, a gunman in a black Lexus pulled up and opened fire, pumping 5 bullets into Gatley's car. Miraculously, Gatley survived. He had the foresight to wear a bulletproof vest, which absorbed 4 shots to his chest.
Boy, he was ready.
1 bullet hit his jaw, seriously injuring him, but not killing him. The attack was the second attempt on Gatley's life in 6 months. The investigation revealed a far-reaching conspiracy to murder Gatley, orchestrated by Kinahan leaders using encrypted messaging. Several men were later arrested and prosecuted. In 2020, Cowell and Smith was convicted of attempted murder for being the gunman who shot Gatley.
Look at his hair. Like, do you see how straight that boy hair is? And he is a hired hitman. This nigga look like James Bond cousin, boy. This mob shit is crazy, boy. I ain't lying. This shit is crazy, bruh. This way different than the other gangs, man. This is execution, drugs, hired killers, people fleeing to Dubai. Like, bro.
An accomplice, Gary McAreevy, was convicted of helping burn out the getaway car. That same year, authorities nabbed Peadar Keating, a senior Kinahan operative who admitted to directing the activities of the hit team targeting Gatley. He was effectively the on-ground coordinator who recruited Arakas and others. Keating received 11 years in prison. Despite proactive policing, the feud still saw deadly success for the Kinahan side in 2017. 3 murders that year are attributed to the feud, each victim connected to the Hutch group in some way. On the 31st of May 2017, Michael Keogh, 37, was shot dead in his car in an underground car park on Dorset Street, Dublin.
The body of the latest victim of the ongoing murderous feud between 2 criminal gangs in Dublin was removed this afternoon from the place where he died. Michael Keogh was found by a council worker, shot dead, here in an underground car park in Sheridan Court at around 10 to 10 this morning. Originally from Sean McDermott Street, Michael Keogh grew up in Dublin's north inner city. He had just started a new job in construction and was on his way to work early this morning when he was ambushed. The 37-year-old father of 2 lived here in the flat complex beside the underground car park. He was shot a number of times and was found lying across the front seats of the Volkswagen car, the car keys still in his hand. Gardaí believe Michael Keogh was shot dead at least 2 hours before his body was discovered. A grey Opel Astra, believed to have been used as the getaway car, was found on fire earlier at around 7:30 this morning on nearby Clonliffe Avenue. Fitted with false number plates, it had been stolen last month. A gun has also been found.
This case is complex. Keogh had Kinahan links, but was also friendly with certain Hutch associates. Notably, Michael was the brother of Jonathan and Regina Keogh, the siblings later convicted of killing Gareth Hutch. Michael himself had been seen with Hutch-aligned figures like Jason Buddha Molanu, a prominent Hutch ally. It's believed the Kinahan cartel executed Michael Keogh, fearing he might flip allegiance or because of those friendships.
Right.
Yet authorities haven't fully ruled out other possibilities. Keogh had various underworld connections and could have been killed by another rival, or even set up by someone on the Hutch side as a double cross. Still, the dominant theory is that Keogh was punished by the Kinahans for perceived disloyalty. As of recent reports, no one has been charged in his murder. On the 22nd of October 2017, Jamie Tig Ennis, 24, was shot dead outside a house on Moatview Avenue, Coolock.
The body of the latest gangland murder victim in Dublin was removed today for a post-mortem from the place where he was shot dead. Shocked and saddened family and friends were here at the scene to grieve and pay their respects. 24-year-old Jamie Ty Ennis was chatting with a group of male and female friends on the footpath here on Moatview Avenue in Coolock at 2 this morning when a gunman shot him in the back of the head. The getaway car, a black Audi A3, was found burnt out in Finglas. Gardaí are appealing for people with information to come forward and are trying to identify and speak to the people who were with the victim when he died.
He was known to police with prior assault and firearms charges. Jamie was an associate of the Hutch crew.
I'm the richest guy in the world. I have time to give.
I have people I can count on.
And a million stories to share.
The key to being rich is knowing what.
However you book your flight.
I'm so sorry. Y'all skip. Just skip, y'all. Just skip.
5%.
It keeps giving me 20-second ads.
The getaway car,
Okay.
a black...
Yeah, we was like right here.
Affiliated with the Hutch group. However, Jamie had a broad array of criminal contacts. Authorities could not definitively pin his murder on the Hutch feud alone, leaving open the possibility of other underworld motives. To date, insufficient evidence links the Hutch group directly to Jamie's death, so it stands as presumably a one-way hit by Kinahan interests. No charges have been brought. On the 1st of December 2017, Cain McCormack, 24, was found shot in the head in a field in Walterstown, County Meath.
The body of the 24-year-old male was discovered in a remote field in Walterstown, near the Meath-Kildare border, yesterday at 11 a.m. He was subsequently identified as Cain McCormack from Clonee in County Meath. They say Cain McCormack parked his 04D silver Peugeot 307 in a supermarket car park in Clonee village at 5 p.m. on Friday. There he got into a black saloon-type car that drove towards Dunboyne. Shortly after 6 p.m, Gardaí found a black Audi saloon car on fire at Meekstown Cottages.
He had gone missing the day before after telling his partner he was off to meet someone, and when he didn't return, they grew worried.
Yep.
The murder of Cain McCormack was particularly significant in that he was the son of a previous feud victim.
Mob shit. I'm telling you, mob shit. Ain't nothing to it. Mob shit, bro. You mean to tell me you're gonna meet some random associates, get in a car with them, and then they take... what did I just say in the last video? They gonna act like they doing a deal with you, get you in a car, take you to some random location, off you, and then burn out the car and leave you for dead, bro. This is the mob, bro.
Cain's father was Noel Kerwin, who had been killed 1 year earlier. It's thought that Cain wanted revenge for his dad's assassination and might have been plotting against the Kinahans. The Kinahan gang appears to have struck first, viewing Cain as a potential threat. Cain had been officially warned by police that his life was in danger, a common Garda practice when someone is on a hit list. He also had some involvement with dissident Republicans and was caught with ammunition weeks prior, which suggested he was planning something significant. 2 men were arrested, but both were released without charge, leaving the case unsolved. By the end of 2017, the Hutch side had not managed to kill any further Kinahan members since the Regency, aside from possibly Michael Keogh, but he was actually linked to both gangs. Authorities set up surveillance on likely targets and hitmen, foiling plots such as the Gary Hanley attempt in November. Another Hutch associate, he had multiple tracking devices found on his car, tipping off police that an attempt on his life was imminent. In an operation, authorities arrested several men in the act of planning Hanley's murder.
The plan was to shoot and kill Hanley at his home on the 6th of November 2017, but the Garda's Drugs and Organised Crime Unit had the gang under surveillance. Dean Howe was one of the supervisors of the operation. He took instructions from those at the top of the Kinahan organisation and directed those on the front line of the murder attempt. He was recorded chastising the getaway driver Joseph Kelly, telling him he had effed up and asking, "What are you getting paid for?" We all have our jobs to do, he told Kelly, but we had to do your job. 2 days later, he again warned Kelly, we don't want any silly mistakes, right? He later praised the getaway driver, saying, good man, you kept your hood up and your face down. He's been jailed for 12 years, Luke Wilson for 11 years, and his uncle, Alan Wilson, is serving 6 years in prison.
A few more violent episodes would occur in early 2018 before things truly simmered down. And importantly, some unfinished business remained. The Kinahans still hadn't gotten to their most elusive target, Jerry Hutch himself, nor his brother Patsy Hutch, both of whom were in hiding abroad or under heavy guard. On the 20th of January 2018, Derek Coakley Hutch, 27, was shot dead around 3 p.m. while sitting in a parked car beside Clover Hill Prison.
I'm sorry, y'all. We back, bro. We back. Somebody fucking called my phone off some stupid shit. We back, man. Continue, bro.
Prison in West Dublin. He had just visited his incarcerated brother, and along with 2 friends. As the 2 friends stepped out of the vehicle briefly, a gunman struck. Derek was shot multiple times in the head at close range and died instantly. The attackers then burned out their getaway cars nearby. Derek Coakley Hutch was a nephew of Jerry Hutch and had been warned by police that his life was in danger, like so many others on the Hutch side. Despite over 450 lines of inquiry, no one has been charged with Derek's murder. It is presumed to be another Kinahan-ordered hit. Then, on the 30th of January 2018, just 10 days after Derek's killing, Jason Molanu, 27, was shot dead at the James Larkin House Flats on Dublin's North Strand. Jason was a well-known street criminal. Reports say he had 122 prior convictions for various offences. He was also a trusted Hutch associate and a close friend of Derek Coakley Hutch. In fact, on the night he was murdered, Jason had just returned from Derek's wake. He had been paying respects to his fallen friend. As he arrived near his home, a 2-man hit team ambushed him, shooting him multiple times. Jason tried to flee, but collapsed and died from his wounds. The killers fled in a van, which they later attempted to burn near the East Link Bridge. The timing strongly indicates Kinahan retaliation. They struck Jason possibly because he was likely to retaliate for Derek's death, or simply because he was another key Hutch loyalist. To date, no arrests have been made public in his case either. With most of Jerry Hutch's close allies now deceased or in hiding, the Kinahan gang turned their gaze to a prime target who had remarkably survived thus far, Patsy Hutch, Jerry's older brother. Patsy, in his late 50s, was not involved in crime himself.
Oh, he wasn't? Oh,
he was a quiet family man. But tragically for him, he was the father of Gary Hutch, whose murder started the feud. The Kinahans likely saw Patsy's assassination as a way to psychologically torture Jerry and perhaps draw him out. Patsy had already survived at least 3 attempts on his life and had been repeatedly warned by authorities of credible threats. He took precautions. Living in Dublin's north inner city, he refused to be driven out of his home turf. But he knew danger lurked. In early March 2018, a meticulous Kinahan plot to finally get Patsy was underway, and it was only stopped thanks to extraordinary police work. On the 10th of March 2018, Garda surveillance units were monitoring a team of suspected Kinahan operatives in Dublin. Acting on intelligence, armed officers raided a van in a car park on Gardner Street at 8 a.m.
They always
Subsequent
in these
investigation
vans.
confirmed the plan. The hit team intended to cause a ruckus to lure Patsy out of his house and then gun him down.
These are Call of Duty Warzone weapons, bro. I seen that on Call of Duty last week. What the fuck?
On the 27th of March, not long after the foiled van plot, ominous graffiti reading, "Patsy dies, feud ends," appeared on walls near Patsy's home. Authorities suspected this was another attempt to flush Patsy out. In July 2019, Gary Thompson and Glenn Thompson and Robert Brown, an ex-soldier who served in Afghanistan, all pleaded guilty and were each jailed for 11 to 12.5 years for their roles in the Patsy Hutch plot. In June 2020, Michael Burns, Stephen Curtis, and Kieran O'Driscoll, part of a second layer of the conspiracy, were sentenced for planning to murder Patsy Hutch. Burns got 9 years, Curtis and O'Driscoll 5 years each. Evidence showed Burns communicated via encrypted phone-giving orders. Curtis had sourced burner phones and attended meetings. O'Driscoll was to be the lookout on Patsy's street. In August 2020, 2 more associates, Patrick Curtis and Mohammed Smew, were jailed for 10 and 7 years respectively. They were part of a subcell under Kinahan command, involved in vehicles and planning. The unraveling of the Patsy Hutch plot was arguably the biggest victory for law enforcement during the feud. It prevented what would have likely been a gruesome public assassination, and it put a significant number of Kinahan operatives behind bars. Following the foiled Patsy Hutch attack in March, the Kinahan side essentially had no prominent Hutch targets left in Dublin to hit. Jerry Hutch was abroad, Patsy was now under heavy guard, Gary Hutch was long dead. Most of Jerry's nephews and friends were dead or in hiding. Still, 2 more killings in late 2018 have possible links to the feud, though by this time, motives grew muddled with other criminal feuds. On the 15th of November 2018, Clive Staunton, 50, was shot dead outside his home in Leixlip, County Kildare.
The murder of a man in County Kildare last night is linked to the Hutch-Kinahan feud.
The body of the man Gardaí believed to be the latest victim of the ongoing Hutch-Kinahan feud was this afternoon removed from the place where he was targeted for assassination. 50-year-old Clive Staunton arrived at his home here at Gleneaston Way in Leixlip last night, where his killers were waiting.
Are you self-employed or run a small business?
What is up with y'all in these 50-minute ads?
There's more to me than...
Like, god damn.
Nice is linked to the Hutch.
Like, put that shit back on my screen, man.
Was found burnt out over 30 kilometres away, here in Manor Kilbride in County Wicklow.
Wow.
Clive Staunton was distantly related by marriage to the Hutch family and was originally from Dublin's inner city before moving to Kildare. He had minor past offences, but wasn't a major criminal. Some arrests were made in this case, but as of recent reports, no one has been charged. The Staunton murder still remains somewhat ambiguous. On the 22nd of December 2018, Eric Fowler, 34, was shot dead outside his home in Blakestown. 2 gunmen waited for Fowler to come outside. When he did, they sprinted up and shot him multiple times in the head before fleeing. A burnt-out Volkswagen Jetta was found shortly after. Fowler had been formally warned by authorities that his life was in danger. His murder is interesting because Eric Fowler was a known Kinahan associate. In fact, he allegedly tipped off police about Imre Arakas in April 2017. Many believe Fowler was executed by the Kinahan cartel itself for betraying them.
For betrayal.
However,
yeah,
authorities also
I ain't
consider...
gonna lie, that's most likely what be happening. That's most likely what it is, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Real shit.
...that Fowler's death might be connected to separate local feuds in West Dublin. As of recent reports, nobody has been charged, and police stated they have no suspect solid enough to charge for Fowler's murder. By early 2019, the shootings had largely subsided. As the feud cooled, law enforcement intensified efforts to bring down the Kinahan cartel as a whole, recognizing it as the larger menace behind the violence.
Bro, this is crazy. Ireland is cracking. This is crazy, boy. Ireland is really cracking. Be sure to drop a like for this whole documentary. This shit was actually very, very informative. We heard about a lot of stuff going on. It's crazy, bro. Whoever suggested that, I saw you in the comment section. You said you actually, did some time in jail with these particular cats and, heard stories and stuff like that. So shout out to you for suggesting this video, bro. Big up to you, man. Real shit. Hope you living a better life. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like you out. You on YouTube doing your thing, man. I hope you getting, your life together and getting your stuff done and doing your thing, bro. More power to you. Appreciate that suggestion, man. Very, very great video. You know You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's your boy J Steph. Till next time.